Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, unfortunately, some bad news. Europe's largest nuclear plant is on fire. Not full-blown fire, thankfully, but due to a lot of shelling, a lot of, fighting in the area, fire has caught. So, that is the latest, but there's other things I want to talk about in terms of Russian invasion, how it's affecting Bitcoin and just markets overall, right? So let's do this. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified in 3 streams almost every day. Also follow me on social media and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome. I hope you guys are hanging in there. Unfortunately, because of what has happened, Bitcoin is a little bit weaker, 41.5, right? So obviously this morning when I was streaming, it was coming down a little bit, but still it was above 42 something. So it's come down a little bit further right now. There's just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear. People are not really, secure with what's going on, and that's the situation, right? There's really no other way to explain it when there's a full-on war that's going on in Europe, right? So Bitcoin came down a little bit. You can see tomorrow's futures have turned red. Obviously, it could flip, but still, just uneasiness right now. Now, before I get to this, what's going on with the power plant. But before I get to that, there was some other developments. For example, there was ceasefire talks that was ongoing this morning, and it was concluded that both sides wanted to create corridors for basically for humanitarian reasons, for supply reloading, to get casualties off the field, and basically restocking and a whole lot of stuff, right? So this was agreed upon by both sides, which in essence looked good. However, some argue this is actually bad, and this is actually helping Russia more than it is helping Ukraine. Because Russia is actually, there's a lot of reports about Russia running out of ammunition, running out of fuel, running out of food, right? So some argue this actually helps Russia more than it helps Ukraine. But this was discussed this morning. And also some people have noted that, because of, Russia's troops running out of fuel, this convoy, right, this 40-mile convoy is stuck. It's actually stuck about 10, 15 miles out of Kyiv right now, which is very strange. It's been going for a few days, and all of a sudden it stops. And people are speculating why. Did Putin order them to stop? Or Ukraine has been doing a really good job taking out the roads and taking out the very first few of the convoy to kind of set them back? Or are they just running out of fuel? And there's also talks about some soldiers that are puncturing their own gas tank just because they don't want to fight, and they just, they're just causing an excuse. Whatever the reason, right? So this is actually also a mystery at this point. However, it could just be on purpose right now, right? So the heavy tanks, artillery has not actually entered Kyiv and most of Ukraine yet. But even with that said, there has been pretty brutal fighting going on in all major cities at this point, right? So that's also happening right now. But of course, the big news that came out just recently was this: Europe's largest nuclear plant, Zaporizhzhia. I believe that's the name of the plant. There's actually videos of this plant on YouTube, and you could see it. It looks like the outer building, right? Not in the nuclear reactor, thankfully, but outer building caught on fire. And it's due to the increased shelling in the area, a lot of fighting going on in the area, right? And Ukraine is begging basically Russia to calm down in the area, because if this somehow If this somehow, gets blown up or starts leaking or something, right? The nuclear fallout from this will be way worse than Chernobyl. And we know that Chernobyl was not a pretty sight. So bottom line is, Ukraine is basically telling Russia, be careful, okay? Even though we're at war, we don't want to blow this thing up. If we do, we're going to have some major, major problems that not only Ukraine, but Russians, all of Europe and basically the entire world will have to worry about if this happens, right? So again, this is the latest thing that's going on right now. Hopefully there's, I hear the fire has been put out already, but still, if there's increase in shellings and increase in firefighting around the area, it's not good. It's not good at all. And I always wonder why Russia wanted to take over Chernobyl too. I'm still trying to get a clear reason why they decided that to be one of the targets they want to take first, right? So again, what is Putin thinking? Don't know at this point. But obviously, this is causing a lot of scare, which is why I believe Bitcoin went down a little bit further. And also stocks all turn, the futures market all turned red because of this. Now, what is the U.S. and Biden go do about this, right? Well, there's new sanctions, but the new sanctions, again, are just targeting rich oligarchs and their families. And the UK, EU is doing the same thing. And basically, there's just a whole bunch of people that the U.S. is targeting and basically freezing their assets and stopping them from doing business in the U.S. and UK and EU is also doing the same thing. But here's the thing: you're punishing these people, but they're not really punishing Putin at this point. So I just don't know if these sanctions do anything, right? Yes. The rich have lost billions and billions of their wealth because their assets have been confiscated and frozen, right? And yes, Russian citizens are suffering because of this Putin war. But none of this is really hurting Putin at this point, right? So are these sanctions doing anything at all? And the answer is no, at least not right now, even though Biden does say these are hurting. It's hurting the citizens more than it is Putin, right? And we're still here, and I still haven't heard of any country coming out and saying that we're going to ban or stop buying Russian oil and natural gas, which are the biggest exported goods from Russia, right? That's how they make their money, exporting oil and natural gas. And no country has come out and said, we're going to ban those yet. So that's the thing. It's like you could ban their banks, you could ban their oligarchs, you could ban a lot of stuff. But the two ways that Russia makes money have not been banned, right? So where's the sanctions on that? I don't know. So that's the latest. That's the latest. Of course, Ukraine is still doing what they can. Overall donations with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, USDT, whatever, Polkadot, right, is now over 54 million. And this is increasing. It's increasing by leaps and bounds every single day, right? So hopefully this is being put to good use. Yesterday I covered it, and it was reported that 14 million out of like the 20-something million was already spent. It has more than doubled today, right? So hopefully this is helping, but honestly, this is a drop in the bucket. This is really nothing compared to the billions that's being spent on this war right now, right? But it does help a little bit. And again, this does prove that Bitcoin and crypto and decentralized network definitely has a use in this situation and can be used around the world, right? With no middleman, nothing like that to stop it. So that's the latest with this whole thing, with Ukraine, with Russia, with crypto, with Biden. And it's just still a lot of question marks, and it doesn't seem like it's getting any better. This morning, I did cover 5 scenarios. 5 scenarios in terms of how the war can come to an end, right? And right now, nothing really fits those 5, okay? It could be the first one, which was the fast war, and that does seem like Putin is... that's the direction Putin is going, is basically go all out destruction and basically then put in a puppet regime and then leave, right? So it does seem like he started very light and now it's getting the fire, the fighting and the firefight is increasing, the devastation's increasing, and he may be desperate to end this really fast, and that's what may be happening soon. Elon also mentioned that, because he shipped a whole bunch of Starlink satellites, so he did say that he's going to update the software so that all these satellite dishes, the little ones, can be powered even from a cigarette lighter in the car. But then he did warn that there's a lot of places in Ukraine right now, that are relying on Starlink as the only means of communication. So make sure you hide it and put some camouflage over it, right? So hopefully, this is helping, and you got to applaud Elon for making this happen really, really, really quickly for the people of Ukraine. So there you go. That's the situation right now, and this is what's causing things to come down, right? I've been saying this for a while. There's really nothing we could do. The only thing that we could do is pray for the citizens that have fled, and of course the ones that have fallen, right? It's a unfortunate situation for Ukrainians, but also very unfortunate for Russians too. Not Putin, but the citizens of Russia. It's just not good for anyone. And you know what? It doesn't look like the end is anywhere near in sight. But again, relating back to crypto, right? I've been saying Bitcoin is the answer. Bitcoin solves a lot of these issues, right? And those of us that are in crypto, or holding on to crypto, investing in crypto, we should continue to do so because it is the way. It is the way, right? And it has been doing relatively well outside of, I guess, the last few hours. But overall, it's still holding. Bitcoin is still holding above 41,000. There is another event that's happening tomorrow that may be affecting what we're seeing now outside of this Russia FUD, and that is options expiration. There's a decent one that's tomorrow. Not the biggest expirations, but you can see the one that's ending tomorrow has a max pain of 40,000, and we're not quite there yet. We're 41.4, so could this have something to do with Bitcoin's fall? Yeah, possibly. But the volume is just not nearly as high as the ones that happens at the end of the month. Those are in billions. Each call, right, is in the billions of volume, and this is not nearly as high. So could it have some effect? Yes, but I don't think it's the real reason. All right. So there's that. There's other pieces of news, so let's get to it. Opensea, unfortunately, is joining MetaMask, which I talked about this morning. MetaMask all of a sudden decided to ban transactions from Venezuela. Opensea is also doing the same thing, right? And according to their spokesperson, they're able to prohibit sanctioned users or users in sanctioned territories from using our services. So unfortunately, this is not, it's not a good look, because something like OpenSea, you figure, is a decentralized marketplace for NFTs, right? And if it's truly decentralized, it shouldn't have the ability to block users out, right? Especially targeted users from certain countries, right? So now this is putting a lot of FUD on OpenSea and MetaMask, two projects that most thought was completely decentralized, but now it turns out they are actually not. So, bottom line is, with some of these services that may claim they're completely decentralized, they're not, right? Now, in terms of who they're banning, right now they're banning users from countries that U.S. have sanctions with, right? So in terms of the countries that they're banning, Venezuela, and then, this is just like a list, but maybe like Iran, Syria, Cuba, whatever, right? So more countries could be on the way. Even Russia could be put on this list, right? So they're complying with laws, but again, this is a slippery slope. What is this going to lead to down the road, right? If pressure is placed on them, are they going to shut more people down? See, that's the question mark, right? So we don't know. But I thought I'd bring that up. I mean, obviously, Opensea and MetaMask, they're powerhouses. They're huge. Absolutely huge in the space. So to find an alternative or move the alternative is going to be kind of hard. And who knows if the alternative ones are going to be decentralized too, right? Because outside of Opensea, you only have a few that I know of, like Rarible. You have FTX, their own NFT marketplace, and you have a few others that are on other chains like CNFT and SolArt and so forth, right? But they're not Ethereum based, so really not that many alternatives to Opensea. And in terms of MetaMask, I'm not even really aware of another browser-based wallet that can replace MetaMask other than the ones from the other chains, right? So, unfortunate situation. So, just want to bring that up. Are there good news? It seems like I led with all these bad news. Are there good news? Well, yes. Yes, there is. Those of you guys that are basketball fans or NFT fans, well, Michael Jordan's Solana-based NFT marketplace, I just got done talking about OpenSea, but HEIR, their own marketplace that's dedicated for athletes. So this just opened up, and they're selling their very first NFTs on this platform. So that just opened up. Again, if you're a Michael Jordan fan, you're a basketball fan, you're an NFT fan, pretty significant part of the growing Solana ecosystem out there, right? Also, if you're a Vechain fan, right? Vechain is testing out their new stablecoin, another 1 million minted, and they are testing it out right now, almost up to 2 million. So I've been saying this for quite some time. Vechain has been concentrating on B2B. They're going to concentrate on B2C. So this year will be big, especially with their new stablecoin. And of course, they're opening up more dexes, and there's more games. For example, Mad Viking games that are coming aboard to Vechain as well, right? It's very early, but that's because they really didn't concentrate on the consumer side of things. But things are coming. Also, speaking of stablecoins, Polkadot, which is a project that has been pretty weak recently, they also have a few things coming up. In fact, they're going to get their own native stablecoin too, created by Kala. And Kala is a DeFi project and wants to make themselves the biggest DEX on Polkadot. But yeah, Polkadot is also getting involved with their own stablecoin, growing their DeFi ecosystem. So overall, pretty good. And lastly, Kadena, for those of you guys that are Kadena fans wondering what's going on, well, CADX did say that they're going to release their DEX, right? Get it out of beta form, release their DEX, and have liquidity pools, and it's set to launch in Q1, and there's only, 20-something days left before Q1 is over. So this will be coming out soon, and when this starts, this is going to be good for Kadena as well, right? So this is also positive news. So, that's pretty much it. We got some projects that are going to be releasing some stuff, right? So while things are low, still good to be DCAing and buying the dips, right? As these projects build. And when they do build and attract users and attract usage, well, they will naturally head higher. And when the market gets higher overall, then all this DCAing, all this buying pays off. But right now, there are a lot of uncertainty. We're not out from under the clouds of uncertainty that we're living in right now. But We will get through it. We will get through it eventually. All right. That's pretty much it. Right now, you know, things are just iffy. Things are just iffy. All right. Let's do some Q&A. All right. Let me scroll up, making sure I don't miss anything. Steven, hi. I'm scrolling. There's so much back and forth political chat. I'm gonna stay out of it, but yeah. Mike Jones, WTF is going on, and why the F is my crypto down so much? Well, it's because of what's going on in Ukraine, mostly because of this. This really scared people. Honestly, if you think about it, it is scary, right? We don't need another Chernobyl on our hands. We don't need a nuclear fallout. We don't need a nuclear power plant to melt down, right? And the fact that it caught on fire today, right? It's not good. Not good overall. So this is what's causing a lot of people to be very, very uneasy at this point. And all these sanctions against all these oligarchs are not working. Like these guys are beyond rich. You know, they're worth tens of billions of dollars. So if you take some away, they're not sweating. They know they're fine, right? So it does seem like we need stronger sanctions at this point. Is Waves a Russian blockchain or just from Russia? Is it good or bad for crypto? Waves is an old one. I don't know if it's a Russian blockchain. It's been around for a while. Keep in mind, okay, this is not like Russians are bad. This is Putin and his war, okay? So there's many founders of crypto projects that are Russian, like Vitalik is Russian. I don't know the name, but the founder of Chainlink is Russian. And there's many others that are also Russian. You know, so just because a project was created by a Russian person, or if it's a Russian project, it means it's necessarily bad. But I don't know too much about Wave's beginnings. All right, let's see here. What are your thoughts about EFI, Infinity going live on Polkadot soon? Hopefully it does well. Infinity, you know, is a chain created by Engine, and Engine has been just really stuck. I think Engine is a good project, but they've been stuck in really their new concentration Infinity, and hopefully it works out well. But Polkadot right now, just they don't have the momentum. They're just not coming up nearly as fast as some of the other guys. And now you can see they've been pushed out of the top 10. They were sitting pretty at like 6 and 7, and they slowly moved down, and they're just not gaining a lot of traction at this point. So hopefully they can gain it back, and hopefully some of these parachains like Infinity can help it. Geo Stone, thank you. No thoughts on XLM. They haven't changed. Nothing has changed. Let's see. Crypto winter not because of Ukraine. Okay. Crypto winter is better than nuclear winter. I'll agree with that. Although I don't think we're in crypto winter. If we were in crypto winter, things would be a lot worse. People, I think, still forget that crypto winter is when Bitcoin was below 10,000 and was below 5,000 and we hit 3,000s, okay, those are true crypto winters. Where are we? We're sitting above 40,000. We're not below 10,000. We're not below 5,000. So this is not the same. This is not the same thing. Nowhere close. Stacy, I appreciate that. NFTs killing projects. No, they're not. You got to think about this. NFTs keep people in the game. Anything right now keeping people in the game is good. This is why I'm a big fan of DeFi. DeFi is can't speak tonight. It's keeping people in the game, right? Keeping them calm, helping them hold their crypto and earning rewards. And the same thing with NFTs. There are a lot of people that are only concentrating on NFTs, okay? But at least they're in it. They're not panic selling their NFTs, right? So, anyways, even Ukraine, I brought up, they're selling NFTs right now too for their cause. So NFTs could be used for multiple things and even for humanitarian reasons too. Why can't ETH break 3,000? It did. It just did, Bernardo. It unfortunately came down when things came down again. But they just did. Kronos is fine project. So is Crypto.com. I'm not a rich man. I don't need to be. But I won't be a poor man either, thanks to you, George. Darren, I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear it. But you can. You can't get there. Just stick with what you're doing. Let's see. Do I own DOT? Yes, I do own some DOTs. Jeep stuff, I appreciate it. If you like Jeeps, which I'm assuming you do based on your name, I'm about to release a video either tomorrow or Saturday on a Jeep Wrangler 4xe, which is a plug-in hybrid. It's actually surprisingly good. So stay tuned for that. Not on this channel. I'm on other channel, drivers only. Good time to buy Russian ruble. It is down. It's like down 40 or 50% from just even a few weeks ago. But it could continue to go down. That's just my opinion. I don't think this war is going to conclude anytime soon. So the ruble can continue to just go down and down and down. Helium and Wi-Fi mining, back upon a time, it was very, very profitable. I heard many people make a tremendous amount with their helium miners. These days, I don't know if the rewards have dropped, but it's a great way to mine. You just get an antenna, and you're providing Wi-Fi services for your neighborhood, and you're getting rewarded in helium. Jerry, thank you. What exchange do you use for DCA? There's many out there. A lot of automated buying, like Coinbase allows it. Gemini allows automated buying, right? So that you can DCA. Almost every single major exchange allows you to do so one way or another. Yeah, there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there. But, for most part, you can just do it manual. You don't have to set it and forget it. You can just say, hey, you know what? Every Friday when I get a paycheck, I'm just going to DCA, right? You can manually do it. Just set something that, reminds you. Or you could do it manually when things are down 10, 15, 20%. You could DCA a little bit too, right? So you don't actually need something that you have to set and forget. You could just manually do it yourself. I hope not, Zach. Zach says, get ready for $8 a gallon. That would be pretty insane. It's probably coming. Oil. Let's see. Did oil go up? Yeah, oil is above 110. If this continues, and some people think it's going to go as high as 150, and that may be only the beginning. If it keeps going, yeah, watch out. Watch out. How underrated is Stacks and Fala? Based on that question, I don't know how to answer because I don't think either is underrated. So, Frank asked, "What do you think about Render token?" I'm not a fan of Render. I've never been. I think decentralized GPU sharing doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't, especially on an Ethereum network. It doesn't. Do you see a Cadillac Escala? No, I didn't. I'm guessing it's an EV. I'm guessing it's an EV. Imagine only a Hummer. Well, the new Hummers are EV, so that wouldn't be bad. But yeah, if gasoline price, the price of gasoline in the U.S. really starts skyrocketing, it's really going to push a lot of people towards EV, right? So, that is why so many manufacturers are rushing to move to EV. Not due to the gas prices, but it's definitely going to accelerate things if it happens. Christopher says, what is VThor? VThor is a secondary token for Vechain used for transactions. VAT is used for governance. But VThor, you'll get rewarded VThor just simply by holding VAT in your wallet. But VThor is inflationary. VAT is not. Samuel, I'm afraid if I keep playing that super educational XRP video, people will fall in love with XRP, you know. So I'm afraid that might happen. Have you heard of RevYouTube backed by OHK? Cardano native tokens discriminate? No. I've never heard of it. And that sounds weird. That is subscription based. I don't even know what that means. Someone asked George about 1inch. Why don't you just ask me, Eddie? Why are you asking someone else to ask about 1inch? Well, if you're looking for DEXs, then, you know, check out 1inch. Because 1inch is just a DEX aggregator. All your favorite DEXs all aggregate into one platform, and that's 1inch. And then it'll find the best liquidity, the lowest slippage, and you can trade on all the major ones. And they have their own liquidity pool too that you could stake, but also it could find trades from their liquidity pools and all the other DEXs out there. So very, very useful. Very useful. So check them out if you're looking to trade with DEX. Anchor Protocol legit deposit. Yes. Yes. Mike says, you're going to drive me crazy is what you're going to do with that video. But it's so educational. And there's so many people that love XRP. Right? So, I mean, like Chris is saying, he needs to get educated on XRP. There's so many people asking about XRP. It's, you know, I feel compelled to educate the masses on XRP with that video. Anything else? XYO, not that big of a fan. They could do well. They're L1 based on, you know, IoT devices, really location-based IoT devices, but they haven't had much traction recently. Moon River is EVM compatible chain on Kusama. So I would prefer Moonbeam over Moon River because Moonbeam is the same equivalent on Polkadot, which I think has more potential. So ADEX just got a huge investment from Wonder Woman, so I covered that yesterday. But ADEX doesn't work the same way as SundaeSwap. They don't have their own liquidity pools, so I don't know how to explain how their orders works. It's almost like a order book, so to speak. Maybe it is an order book, but they work differently. What's your favorite type of cheese? I don't know. I'm not picky with you. Monster cheese, I'll just say that. Do you read a chat after you sign off for just a few moments? what are your thoughts on buying NFTs on VV? It's great. They have a lot of Spider-Man and Captain America and Ghostbusters. I mean, they have a lot on there, right? So if you enjoy NFTs, great, but it's kind of locked into the platform. So that's the thing. And, you know, they have augmented reality, so you could look at your NFT in your room and stuff like that. It's pretty cool stuff. Dustin, I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope you're hanging in there. But I appreciate the support. I appreciate your mom's support, but I'm really sorry to hear that. Elon Gate. Thank you. Thank you. What will give Solana momentum? Solana isn't doing all that bad. It's clinging on, but you know what made them weak recently is because of all the network outages, just a ton of them out of the blue, right? And it's not, I mean, it's not necessarily their fault. It's not like it is just crashed for no reason. It's due to a lot of spam, a lot of bots attacking the network with spam. They seem to have a hard time solving that. And also, I think the large portion of VCs that bought in is now selling out because they're fearful, right? But overall, Solana is still a good project. You know, there's still many creators that's coming on board. You know, Jordan is having his own collection and platform is on Solana. Shaq recently got onto Solana, bought in a lot of Solana NFTs. And there's many other projects that's really diving into Solana. So, yeah. Darren, I appreciate that. Moonbeam may have taken some of the Dots marketplace. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. I don't know if it's like a trap because some of these projects now, they're releasing EVM compatible chains onto an ecosystem that isn't EVM compatible. For example, Polkadot. So Moonbeam is bringing EVM to Polkadot, right? And they're not the only ones. Many others are releasing EVM compatible chains on top of their own chain. And really what it's doing is just bring more attention to Solidity and EVM. So I don't know if it's like a Trojan horse almost. But as long as they have some kind of interoperability built in so that the two tokens, the native tokens and the ERC20 tokens can talk to each other and communicate and can be used within the DEX that exist, then it should be fine. Should be fine. All right, guys, I'll let you guys go. Overall, you know, Bitcoin's a little bit weaker. Crypto's a little bit weaker. Tomorrow's markets, a little weak right now because of this fear about, you know, nuclear power plant. Ukrainian officials say nuclear power plant secure after Russian attacks, right? So obviously, you know, it's not good whenever a nuclear power plant catches on fire, right? And there's a lot of fighting around, so that has a lot of people uneasy at this point. But it does look like Ukrainians have taken it over. Hopefully, Russia and Putin comes to their senses and make sure that, no more firing, no more battles around a nuclear power plant because it's not going to be good for anyone. We'll see. We'll see. Tomorrow, I'll give you guys the latest news. Tune in 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good night, guys. Stay strong. And, because so many have requested it, I feel I have to show you guys this video. Take a look. You'll be amazed by what you learn about Ripple and XRP in this video. All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.